Welcome. In this video, JSS instructor will set up a local lab for CompTIA Linux Plus 005 course. Now let's get into this course and talk about this lab and why it's important. In this course, we are going to cover everything about Linux and Linux administration. And this course is designed for IT professionals who would like to learn about Linux because maybe they want to get into systems administration where they have to work on Linux environment. Or let's say if you're getting into cybersecurity or even cloud administration or systems administration later on, Linux is really helpful because you're going to come across certain projects where you may have to work on Linux. And especially in cybersecurity, where you have to work on other operating systems such as Kali and other operating tools, then it's really important for you to learn Linux. Now, in this, of course, when somebody becomes our premium member, we give them lab access. And when our members get into our Linux, they get into a course like this, watch a video, modules, and then after that, there's a lab where we actually work and perform everything on those labs. And it's very easy for everybody to learn the skills directly from the same lab that instructor is using. So let's go ahead and launch the lab, and I'm going to explain what we are going to do with your local lab and how we are going to cover it. Once your lab is fully open, you will see that you are going to start the Linux lab step by step. And this is what you're going to cover in the video format as well. In each module, you're going to see a lab topology like this. Now, in this whole course, you're going to see four stations or devices where it's going to be a Linux server. Then we have a standalone Linux server, and then we also have a standalone workstation. In this video, we're going to only cover the Linux installation for local machines. Now, keep in mind when we say local, this is your desktop, laptop, and if you have the resources. If you're a premium member, then I highly recommend you do not get into that right now. Maybe later on when you feel like you want to keep your own lab for whatever reason, then you should go ahead for that. But at this point, as a premium member, you have 1 year access, and you should definitely utilize what you already have and learn the skills and not get stuck in installations and just that kind of stuff. Now, this is only recommended for people who don't have premium membership and don't want to go this route and say, okay, I can do this at home. So then you will have to configure your own Linux environment. And we do not support anything at home devices. So you'll have to do your own research. But if you follow the instructor video, this is going to give you a really good guide on how to get these three systems installed. And for Windows 10, if we are going to cover this in Windows 10 at some point in this course, you can also go to YouTube, type Windows 10 installation on VirtualBox, and you will find many videos. We have done many videos on that as well. So next, instructor is going to go over all of the setup. One recommendation is when you're installing the Linux local labs, try to name it the same way so that when instructor is using the same names or getting to the same labs, then you're not getting confused. Then it'll be easy for you. So now our instructor will take over and he will show you how to get the three Linux devices onto your local VirtualBox.
Lab environment. These are the following labs we are gonna set up in our today's video. First we will set up and configure AlmaLinux. Then we will set up the Ubuntu lab. So the minimum requirements, we need minimum of 80 GB free hard disk. Then we have a VirtualBox on the system, and and a minimum of 4 GB RAM is recommended in order to set up the lab. Let's start our Alma Linux setup. First we need to download the ISO file, then we will install the ISO file in our VirtualBox. Let's start configuration of Alma Linux. The first thing you need to download is VirtualBox. You just need to come on virtualbox.org official site, then you click the first link, Windows host, then here the download will start. But in my case, I have already downloaded the VirtualBox, so I don't need to install it again. Here is my official Oracle VM VirtualBox. After the installation of VirtualBox Manager, you have same that kind of user interface. You just need to search the almalinux.org. After this, go to the download. In the downloads, it will show the following ISO images. So download the AlmaLinux 9.2 boot ISO. If you don't get the same interface, you can download it from mirrors.almalinux.org. Then you just need to go second last link almalinux.ipconnect.info. Here you just need to download the first link, but then the download will start. In my case, I have already downloaded the boot ISO file, so I just cancelled it. So now we have downloaded the Oracle VM VirtualBox and the AlmaLinux ISO file. Minimize this. Open the Oracle VM VirtualBox Manager. Go to New. You can name it AlmaLinux. Select the folder of your choice. Then just click on Next. You can choose the base memory according to your available base memory. I just want to make around about 4 gigabytes. I have 4 CPU. I will make it to 2. Then click on Next. In the hard disk size, I will select around about 50 GB. Just select Next. Finish. Now right click and go to the settings. Then go to storage. Here no disk image file selected. Go to the empty. Select the ISO file that we have downloaded. Just select this. Open. Now the ISO file is selected. Just select OK. Now right click and start. You can also start from here. So our virtual machine is starting. By up and down arrow, just select install AlmaLinux. Our installation is in process. You just need to wait for a while. In the languages, just leave it default to English. New. Select software selection. Here you can choose any base environment of your choice, but I will go with the server with the GUI. Select done. Now click on automatic partitioning selected. Leave it as default storage configuration automatic. In the user settings, select root password. You can set any password of your choice. It will give us a warning of weak password. Ignore it and select done. Press done twice. Now begin the installation here. Now our installation progress is started. You just have to wait for a while. I am going to pause the video, so after the installation I will restart the video. Our installation progress is completed. Now reboot the system. Now our installation is completed. Just type the password here. Download of Linux setup is as same as we have done setting up of Alma Linux. So let's start. First we will download the ISO, then we will install the ISO file in VirtualBox. Let's start configuration of Ubuntu Linux. First you need to go on the following link ubuntu.com download. Here in the downloads, Go to download Ubuntu desktop. In the downloads we have two versions. One is Ubuntu 22.04.3 LTS and the second version is Ubuntu 23.04. I am going to download the first 2022.04.3. You can download it from here. I have already downloaded it, so I don't need to download it again. I have already downloaded. You can see Ubuntu 22.0.4.3, which size is 4.7 GB. I have downloaded my ISO file in the following folder Ubuntu. Now close this. Open your Oracle VM VirtualBox. Click on New. Here name it as Ubuntu. Select the folder of your choice. Click on Next. Select base memory according to available memory. I will increase it to around about 4 GB. I have 4 CPU, so I will increase it to 2. Next. In the disk size, you can choose the disk memory according to the available memory, so I will increase it to 50 gigabytes at least. Click on Next. Finish. Right click, go to Settings, go to Storage. Here we have no disk image file select. We need to select the disk image ISO file that we have downloaded. Choose the disk file. Select Open. Click on OK. Now here you can see our Ubuntu 22.0.04.3 desktop ISO file is selected over there. Now right click, or you can start it from here as well. Select try or install Ubuntu. Now the installation is started. Here you need to select install Ubuntu. Select continue. Leave it default normal installation and here download update while installing and select continue. Leave it default and click on install now. After setting up your name and password, just click on continue. Now the installation is complete. Click on restart now. Our Ubuntu Linux is restarting, so you just have to wait for a while. Type the password here. Now as you can see, our Ubuntu is successfully installed. In this video, set up our Ubuntu 20.04 standalone server console. Minimum requirements: 2 GHz of dual core processor and 4 GB of RAM. At the last, we have 25 GB of available disk space for a storage. Configuration. So in order to configure the server, we need to download the ISO file, then we will install it into the VirtualBox. Let's start our task. So open your browser and you just need to type the following: Ubuntu 20.04 standalone Ubuntu server console download. Then you have to click on the first link, install Ubuntu server. So here we have the minimum requirements, all the things you just have to go through this. What are the minimum requirements? I have already mentioned it. Then you need to go to download. Then you just click on the get Ubuntu server. Here you select option 1, server installation, which is download Ubuntu server. So our download will start. So the download of our Ubuntu 22.04 live server is started. I have already downloaded my ISO file, so I don't need to download it again. Here I have already downloaded the ISO file. Now open your VirtualBox. In the VirtualBox manager, go to new, give a name here. I will give a name Ubuntu server. Select your folder of your choice. Select the folder. Here leave it as default. Click on next. So I have 16 RAM. I will give it round about 4 gigabytes. I have 4 CPUs, so I will give it to 2 CPU. Click on next. Here in the disk size, I will increase it to round about 30 gigabytes at least. Then click on next. Finish. Now we have to import the ISO file. Go to settings. In the storage, go to storage. Here you can notice there is no disk image file selected, so we have to select the disk image file. Go here, choose a disk file. Here select the disk image file, open it. So we have imported our disk image file. Click on OK. Now click on start. Here leave it default. To try or install a Ubuntu server, click on enter. So this is a console based server. There is no graphical interaction. So in our first window, leave it default, press enter. Leave it default to continue without updating, press enter. So leave it as default, Ubuntu server, press on tab, tab, tab. Now hit enter. We don't have any proxy address, so leave it as default. Click on done, enter. But here it is asking for configure Ubuntu archive mirror. So the mirror address is, I think, fine. No need to change it. Leave it as default. Just hit enter here. Click on continue. Here in the guided storage configuration, just tap, 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 and hit enter here. Again, just press enter. Continue. Here in the name, just type your name. I will name it Ubuntu. Your server name, again Ubuntu. Pick a username, administrator. Now in the password, give it a password. Just press enter. Leave it as default and continue. In order to install a OpenSSH server, just press space, then tab, tab, click on done, press enter, press tab, click on done, press enter. Now here the installation is started. Now our installation is completed. Just press on tab, tab, reboot now, press on enter. Now the system is rebooting. Just ignore these errors. Now the installation is completed. Just type the login credentials here. In the login, type your name first, which is administrator. Then type the password. Now again type the credentials here. Type the password. Now we have successfully logged into Ubuntu server.
Now with this setup, you in your VirtualBox, you will see your machines, and whenever you need it, and let's say instructor is working on PLAB SRV01, then you can turn on your local PLAB SRV01 that you have installed in your local machine. Similarly, the other ones the same way. And like I mentioned, for Windows 10, you will also have to do a research. Just go online, and in our YouTube channel as well, there's Windows 10 installation, and you can do that on a VirtualBox as well if you want to add that. But keep in mind, if you have very less resources, then you don't want to open all of these four at the same time. It will crash. So you may want to just open one at a time if you have minimum resources. And that's how you will perform hands-on exercises from the labs that we're teaching. But again, if you don't want to take any stress, or you want to take exactly the same steps as instructor taking in the same lab, then you should consider the premium labs on JobSkillShare. Thank you.